right, I guess we should actually do this. Hello and welcome. It is the Chunk Podcast. We are, I would say it's live, but it's a podcast. You can listen to it any time. It's live as we're recording it. And by we, I mean it's myself, me, Justin Doyle. We got Lynchy F up in here, and we also have JJ here as well. How you doing, guys?
Doing great.
I'm doing great, man. Happy to be here, ready to get another Chunk Pod on the way.
All right, we got obviously we have our topics in sports, entertainment, and gaming. And before we get into any of this, I just want to people, if they haven't heard or they haven't checked us out on social media, on Facebook, you can search for us. It's search for the Chunk Pod. Actually, it's at the Chunk Pod all across the board. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can even find us on YouTube if you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube. Some of you may be listening to the podcast on YouTube, but there's a way to follow us on there as well. But if you don't follow us on there, you don't know what's going on right now. We are giving away a fresh, brand new copy of Madden 19 for PS4 or Xbox One. It's our first giveaway ever, and I'm super excited about this because I'm really excited for this game to come out. I get it every year, and usually around the time this NFL season ends, I kind of fizzle out of Madden. But right before the season starts, like right now, I want to play some freaking Madden, and we have to wait a little bit longer for it to come out. But I'm excited that we're going to be giving away to one lucky winner on our social media pages.
Yeah, I was doing pretty well in Madden last year until they gimped the Jets.
Oh. I gotta give you props though, because even though I know you're a diehard Jets fan, and even though their team may not be the most spectacular team, you ride out with them every time. You that's your go-to team no matter what. I appreciate that.
It's just, it's a double-edged sword. It's so satisfying when I beat somebody with the Jets. And then it's like, all right, I was playing with the Jets if I lose. Yeah. So it works out.
How would you say your ratio is? Did you get more wins than losses? Or are you like about average? What's the deal for you?
Well, they were better secondary-wise this past year than they were 2 years ago in real life and in the game. I definitely lost more than I won. I don't know, maybe like 40, 60. 35, 65.
That's not bad. I feel the same way. I roll out with the Packers, and usually at the beginning of the season, it's a great choice, and they're awesome. And then a bunch of injuries will happen, and I'll just be sad. Even though I still have Aaron Rodgers, except for last year, I didn't have him for a large portion of the season. So anyway, we digress. We've gotten in too deep. But Madden 19, we're giving it away, and this is like a legitimate giveaway. This isn't like you have to pay us to be involved. All you have to do is comment. Oh, I mean, it's different across the board, but the instructions are on each social media. So if you want to give us a follow, you can get all the details there. And we're taking entries all the way up through, I believe it is Monday, August 6th. If you can get your entry in by the end of the day on Monday, August 6th, we'll be pulling the winner on Tuesday, August 7th, because I wanted to have enough time to get the game to you on release day, because with Amazon, you can kind of hook people up on the release day, get it shipped directly to your house. So I wanted to do it that route. So if you wanted to get signed up and ready to win, follow us on our social media.
One more week.
Yes, I know. It's getting close. And, man, I don't know. I'm getting excited. I'm excited to play with the Packers right out the gate because, again, I want to see what a Jimmy Graham looks like in an actual game, or what it's like to have a tight end that can actually catch the ball. But I know he'll probably get injured like 2 weeks into the season, so who knows. Anyway, up first, we'll have our sports segment, and we got a couple topics lined up. I know it's been a little while since we jumped on a pod. Carmelo Anthony, we did mention in the last podcast, he got traded to the Hawks, and he was going to be waived, and the mystery was, where was he going to wind up? We now have, at least, I mean, that's what he's saying. I mean, I don't think everything's gone through officially yet, but everything seems to be in order for Carmelo Anthony to sign with the Houston Rockets, who also just recently brought back Clint Capella on a pretty decent deal. That was another thing. So they did keep the team together, and they're bringing on Carmelo Anthony. What are your thoughts on that, Lynch?
Like I said, I don't think Carmelo's, the biggest add anymore, because he brings the ego, and, he still thinks he's a starter and, should be starting, where, if he buys in and he buys into the coming off the bench, running the second unit role, I think he could do well with that. But they have to, be realistic and, understand that he's not going to come off the bench and drop 18 a game with 7 boards or whatnot. You're going to get 18 a game and like 1 rebound and like 1 assist a game.
Maybe 1 assist. Yes, it's a great game from Carmelo Anthony if you can get him to pass the ball to you. But I do agree that I think he should. I think it's a good ad. If he would be able to just come off the bench, to me at this point in his career, an amazing bench player. The scorer off the bench would be perfect for them. I don't think he's somebody you want rolling out with a James Harden, out on the court like that. But I don't know. Maybe as the season progresses, maybe he'll wise up and understand that for the team to succeed and at least have a halfway decent shot at taking down the Golden State Warriors, which again I don't think anybody really does. But for them to have the best chance to take down the Warriors, I think he would be better served in a bench role. But another thing I saw was that their championship odds actually dropped after the signing of Carmelo Anthony. I thought that was hilarious.
I think it's because they're afraid that they can't play defense because you automatically right off the bat can't play Ryan Anderson and Carmelo on the floor at the same time because as you saw, Ryan Anderson couldn't get on the floor in the playoffs. The same thing's going to be with Carmelo. Carmelo can, he'll be able to guard someone in the post, but post players are so rare nowadays. It's Carmelo's post defense is pointless.
The West is really shaping up to be pretty competitive next year, which is so interesting with all the different free agency moves that have happened. And I guess I'm just curious. I didn't follow the Rockets all that much last season. What stopped them from making it to the finals? What was their deficiency?
Yeah, Chris Paul got hurt, and it was just obviously he's. I would say arguably their most important player was last season. Obviously Harden gets all the praise and he, deservedly so. Dude's a monster. But with CP3 on the court, they were absolutely a much better team. But he got hurt. They ran into the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, they took them to 7 games. But it was game 7, I believe. Did Chris Paul didn't play that game.
No, he didn't play. He didn't play like 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, and that was their downfall. It was a good series though, and I'm hoping it gets back to that. I hope we get to see that one more time. And for people who are LeBron fans listening, it's not going to happen this year. So just sit down. Maybe wait it out one season. But I would love to see another Golden State Rockets. A Golden State Warriors Houston Rockets matchup there in Western Conference Finals. That'd be awesome to see.
That sounded like a way too early call on the Lakers and LeBron James not making it to the finals.
Oh, dude, come on. I think it's easy. To me, that's one of the easiest statements. I don't think they're going to make it to the finals. I'd be shocked if they made it to the Western Conference Finals, to be honest. The only way I see them making it to the Western Conference Finals is if somehow they place themselves in a perfect scenario where maybe the Rockets slip a little bit during the season or Golden State decides to take their pedal off the gas and then they don't have to play Golden State or the Rockets to get to the Western Conference Finals. That's the only chance that they have to make it to that point. But I think the Rockets are a better team. Warriors are a better team. I think there's a few other teams that, I'm not giving the Lakers a lot of credit this season. With what they have.
The Pelicans were in it last year, right? And a few other.
Yeah, Pelicans are a good team. They
lost Boogie.
Yeah, they lost Boogie, but they added Randall, and they finished the season stronger without Boogie. Obviously, he's a much different player, but obviously he's going to change the games. But
they don't have playoff Rondo this year either, so I'm not counting on the Pelicans to do much other than make like the 8th seed.
That's true. I saw actually some early predictions that they had like the Jazz like missing the playoffs, and I was like, I don't even understand how they could even do that because LeBron goes to the Lakers. The one team they take out was the Jazz. I was like livid when I saw that. I think the Jazz are a great team.
I do too. They're really young. Gobert got hurt in the middle of last year, and they stood afloat last year with Gobert out, and their defense is so much better with Gobert. And Ricky Rubio showed in the playoffs that he could play a little bit, so it'll be an exciting year going in for Utah. And then I know Donovan Mitchell is really excited about Grayson Allen. I'm not too sure about the rest of the NBA, but Grayson Allen can ball a little bit.
Yeah, he's the type of dude that I would hate to play against just because I would get so frustrated and angry. But if he was on my team upsetting people, I'd be like, okay, dude, do your thing, whatever.
Like a Marcus Smart.
Oh, Marcus Smart, my God, I love that man. I couldn't be happier that the Celtics re-signed him. Anyway, Oh, okay. I just got real excited. But we can move away from NBA. We can slide over to the NFL because I saw something that it makes me sad every time I see it because I have no beef with the San Diego Chargers. Oh, well, that's embarrassing. They're not San Diego Chargers anymore, which by the way, they should be the San Diego Chargers still. I think it's sad that they're still in LA. Anyway.
Maybe they have a curse now that they're the Los Angeles Chargers.
I can't even wrap my head around that. To me, Los Angeles Rams, they're playing well. They basically own the city now. The Chargers to slap a fan base in the face like that and then move a handful of miles away. You know what I mean? Not even like they moved to a different state. It was just like a couple zip codes away and be like, "No, we're not San Diego anymore. We're LA." I think that was stupid. But anyway, they're the Los Angeles Chargers, and to me, they're the most unlucky NFL franchise I've ever seen. And I'm including the Browns and your Jets, JJ. I'm just saying. And when I say unlucky, I mean injuries. I taken everything into account. Wins, losses. They get pretty lucky sometimes in games with Phillip Rivers just chucking it. But as far as like personnel, I've never seen a team get so many major injuries. Like season-ending injuries, like blown Achilles. Jason Verrett, their best corner. Well, one of their best corners. I think Casey Hayward's pretty awesome, but Jason Verrett he blew his Achilles out here in the last couple weeks. He was hurt all of last season as well. He went on IR last season, and their up-and-coming tight end, Antonio Gates, they let him walk to let this guy rise to stardom in May in minicamp in the off season. He tore his ACL. He's out for the entire season. So every time I look at the Chargers, somebody's getting injured, and I just feel bad for them.
It's interesting. Do you think that their injury woes are mismanagement by the coaches and trainers for the Chargers? Or is it just really bad luck?
I don't know, man. At some point, you got to look at the trainers and be like, what are we doing to these people? Because it just seems like every single time something, and these are crucial players, they go down with injuries. Like I'd say at least 4 to 5 crucial players to the football team each season for the Chargers are out for the season. I think they had a first-round pick last year. It was a lineman, Forrest Lamp. He was like supposed to come in and help the run game, obviously start with blocking. Dude was out all season with an injury, and before he didn't even play a game. So I don't know what it is about them. I think the season before that, I think it was Danny Woodhead went down with an injury. That was the big one, fantasy football-wise. But it just seems like every time I look at the Chargers, it's just like carcasses of people on IR, and it saddens me. I hate seeing it.
Last year they went through actually the past 2 years they went through the struggle of being able to field receivers. At one point, it was Keenan Allen, and then Tyrell Williams broke on, and he was, the 10th string wide receiver at the beginning of the year. And then last year, they drafted the Clemson wide receiver. He played like 2 games and then came down with another injury. So it's not just in the off season; it's in the during the season where they drop like flies. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people I do hate seeing it in general, but a lot of people are getting hurt more in the NFL. It's like, obviously, it's like an epidemic. But, I mean, with that sport comes injuries like this. But I swear it's been on the rise, especially for the Chargers. It just saddens me every time I see it. And what's funny is I was writing this down. We were in the prep. I was putting it down on the paper. And as soon as I went over to Twitter, I saw that they just signed recently. They just signed an undrafted free agent tight end, right? And apparently he just tore his ACL like today.
What?
Yes. So I don't know what's going on, what's in the water there in LA for the Chargers, but it's sad. It's sad to see, man.
You know what I will say, and I want to give a little bit of pushback here. The woes of the Jets and Browns, I don't think is bad luck so much as ineptitude.
Yeah.
But you know who I would probably put up there as the second unluckiest team in recent times?
Yeah, who's that?
Would be the Houston Texans.
Yeah, that's
Deshaun
true.
Watson, J.J. Watt, Clowney.
Yeah.
Didn't one of their wide receivers or running backs get injured too?
Yeah, did Lamar Miller make it through a season? I'm pretty sure he might have actually made it.
He played hurt like 95% of the season.
Yeah.
Will Fuller broke his collarbone.
It made me sick.
Back,
Made me sick to see
I think
Watson.
he got hurt at the end of the year.
Yeah, it made me sick to see Watson go down last year. Dude was freaking killing it. It was like, oh god, I hope he comes back.
Yeah,
I hope he
I
comes
hope he
back the
doesn't get
same.
RG3'd. That'll be really sad.
Oh god, rest in peace, RG3. He was that dude. Oh my god. I don't know if Nikki was here right now. I feel like he would go off, but that saddened me to see RG3 take that. I mean, well, I guess that's what happens when you throw your body around like a rag doll. But still, it was fun to watch. Speaking of football, by the way, I know we had literally just talked about this, but the Madden giveaway again. I'll hit it. It's up on our Facebook page, it's on our Instagram, and it's on our Twitter. If you want to get entered to play that game, and maybe if you're lucky, play with a fully healthy Chargers team. Probably won't happen for you, but if you want to get it, the day it comes out, you can try to win it with our giveaway, our Madden giveaway. It's our first chunk giveaway, and to me, it's pretty sweet. So. No purchase necessary. See official rules. I always wanted to say that. We didn't really need a disclaimer, but I just wanted to do it anyway. And lastly on the list, for sports, we have our fantasy football league. It is coming up, and we do need to figure out when. We got to lock down a date, figure out the best time, and we will be live streaming this draft. We try to all get together, and we do it in person, and it's usually pretty entertaining. And if we're all paying attention, it won't last too long. But again, that's subject to change because it gets a little weird when we all get in the same room together.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that I draft even 10% better than I did last year, and I think I'll be pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, you went into the draft and you picked. You had a few good picks, then you had a few questionable ones towards the middle and end there. But I will give you credit. During the season, you righted the ship, and I don't know how you wound up getting the team that you got at the end of the season, but it was a good turnaround, and you're on the right path. There's high hopes for JJ and your fantasy football team this year. Absolutely.
It'll help to do some research before drafting.
That may help a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't help with Lynch, though. This guy can't buy a championship.
Hey, man. I got unlucky last year, but I'm looking forward to this year.
No,
I think it swept every other league other than the Super Duper League.
Absolutely. No, I'll give you. It seems like Lynch and I, we always come in and we're always trying to get the same players. Like, I don't know if we're just on the same page. Like we see the same things in players that we want on our team. I don't know why I just hit puberty right there. On our team. But it's like every year, no matter who's picking, it's like, dude, I was just about to draft him. Like every year, back and forth. Every time somebody picks, it's, dude, I was literally just going to pick this guy. F you. And I look forward to that in this fantasy football draft that's coming up. It'll be coming up here in August. Sometime in the middle of August, we got to get it done and get everybody together. All right, sliding on over to our entertainment portion, we've got a couple things that are in theaters right now that I just found out you two haven't seen Antman and the Wasp yet.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle.
It is a struggle. It's weird because I have Movie Pass. I feel like I don't hit the movies as much as I should be hitting it with the Movie Pass, but I still feel like I'm seeing every movie that comes out that I want to see. It's like I'm pretty sure. I think I saw Antman the day. I think it's the Thursday it released. You know how they do like Thursday night before the Friday, obviously before the Friday release. We went out and we saw it the Thursday night. We stayed up a little late, past our bedtimes, and saw it. And without giving anything away, I love those Ant-Man movies. I don't know why. The first one caught me off guard because I was like, why the hell are they making an Ant-Man movie? But it's such a different ride. It's a different feel than all the other MCU movies. But just the way that they do everything, it's a little more toned down. The stakes aren't quite as high, but they do a good job of tying it all together and making it. Because at the end of the day, you're like, why isn't Iron Man just coming in and cleaning up this mess? But with this, as it coincides with the Infinity War, it leaves you at the end wanting more, just like the Infinity War did, obviously. But it's a good movie, and I think everybody should go see it while it's in theaters, and it ties everything together. But the biggest issue with me is that we're going to be sitting here and waiting for pretty much another calendar year for the follow-up to Infinity War. So we're going to see Infinity War Part 2 with no resolution, and it's going to make me sad.
Well, I'm really excited to see more about Hank Pym and maybe a little bit of Giant Man, and I'm also really excited to see them maybe explore the microverse a little bit more. The Pym particles are really kind of a crazy unique. Well, I guess it's not really unique because the DC has the Atom, but
Yeah.
it's Ant-Man's just kind of a unique character, I feel like, and I'm excited to go see how Paul Rudd, the ever living Paul Rudd, how he does in that movie.
Yeah, Paul Rudd crushes it, dude. I don't know what he just like. At the end of the day, you're like, Paul Rudd's a superhero in the Marvel universe, and it's like hilarious. But it's just the way he ties everything together, the way he does everything. I don't know. He's freaking crushing it in this role. But if you haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, check it out while it's still in theaters. It's pretty awesome. And what's in theaters right now just came out last weekend. Was number 1 in the box office. Well, actually, it was this weekend, right? This weekend here, this past weekend. Mission Impossible Fallout with Tom Cruise. I haven't been keeping up with. I think maybe I've seen like 2 of them, but I feel like there's like 15 Mission Impossibles. But I saw a video online of the way he prepares for these movies, and he does all of his own stunts. Well, like 99% of his own stunts. And the dude literally, I watched a video. It was Tom Cruise flying a helicopter. I don't know if you've seen the previews for it, but that's Tom Cruise flying the helicopter. The dude learned how to fly a helicopter for this film, and they let him fly solo. There was nobody on the helicopter with him. It's a scene where he's in a helicopter chasing another helicopter. It's to me, that's awesome. That's like he's living the dream. They're paying him millions of dollars to learn how to fly a helicopter or dive out of a plane, or you know what I mean? Like this is things people would actually have to pay for, get certified, but they're paying him millions of dollars to just live. I think that's like the coolest thing to me. And I mean, some people might not be big Tom Cruise fans, but the fact that he does all this on his own, to me, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna lay it all out on the table here. I've never seen any of the Mission Impossible movies. Not a single one.
You know what? I can't really knock you for that, because I think I've only seen the first 2, and from what I hear, after the first 3, it turns into almost like a Fast and Furious type deal where they're just like, we've got something here, let's just smack all the action and just throw it 100% pedal to the metal, which people are loving nowadays, and they were number 1 in the box office this past weekend. You can't really blame people for just wanting to see crazy Tom Cruise action.
I think it's, you have those diehard Mission Impossible guys, just like you said. You have those diehard Fast and Furious people. I know I have friends that are dying to see the next one, but at the same time they're like, I really hope the next one is the last one, because it's already come so far and it's getting drawn out.
Yeah.
And I heard the same thing about Mission Impossible. I heard how it's the best series of movies and whatnot. And I get the other side of it where, how many movies have they had? It seems like too many, and they just keep making another one.
Yeah, I'm of the belief that if I want to go see a movie in theaters and I haven't seen the prequels, I won't go see it. And it's just, I feel like I need to see all the movies before I see this particular one that might be in theaters, no matter how awesome it looks. I think Mission Impossible Fallout looks amazing. However, until I see all the other ones, I don't want to go to the theater because I'm going to miss out on so much, and I don't want to do that, even though I'm being told by people that I work with that Mission Impossible, this one right here, this most recent one, it could be a standalone film. You could go and watch it and pick up the gist of just about everything and get out and not feel like you missed too much. I can't do it. I don't know. It's just my morals. My moral code for movies is if you haven't seen the prequels, don't go see the movie. I have to see them all first, but I do feel like it's almost an insurmountable task to see all the Mission Impossibles before I see this.
Surprisingly, there's actually only 6 of them total,
really?
Including this new one.
This is the 6th?
It feels like 10 times that, though.
I honestly thought it was double digits. I'm actually shocked. I mean, so I'm not too far away then. It's almost, I could just take a weekend and just binge watch. I guess that wouldn't be the most awful thing in the world.
Well, when you figure out what platform those are on, let me know, because I'll at least watch the first one for, to give the iconic movie its due.
The worst part about that is, like, 1 and 3 will be on Hulu, 2 and 4 will wind up being on Netflix, and then like Google Play, you'll have to I don't even know on. It's so scattered. No one just gets all of them right away. You know what? I should check HBO. They might actually have them all lined up. But anyway, I want to see them all before I go see this one. Unfortunately, I probably won't get to catch this one in theaters, but I do want to catch up with the Mission Impossibles. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I think Tom Cruise doing his own stunts in his own movies and being paid to learn how to fly a helicopter, I'm super jealous of that guy's life. And the last thing in the entertainment category, we have it up on our website, thechunkpod.com, if you want to check it out. Aquaman and Shazam, the trailers. Did you guys catch these trailers?
I did. I'm, as you are, a big Aquaman fan. I really hope they don't mess it up. It looks really, really good. But, as the franchise goes, I'm kind of, worried how they're going to ruin it almost.
Yeah. JJ,
how
did
could
you catch
not
it?
Be skeptical at this point?
I know. What sucks is that I think both of these are great trailers. That's the scariest part for me with DC films and DC trailers is that I like the trailers. I think they got a great thing going until the movie actually comes out and I leave and I'm like, what did they do? You know what I mean? Why? I really want to like these movies. Aquaman, I love Aquaman. I think he gets crapped on by too many people. It's disrespectful. And Jason Momoa cast as Aquaman, to me, is the perfect angle to take. Because if you cast like a pasty white blonde man, it just doesn't fly for a lot of people anymore, especially not in 2018. I don't think a lot of people would be like, ooh, Aquaman, this is going to be awesome. But the way that they got this world set up, I think it's going to be cool. And please don't butcher it. Oh, my God. But
It'll be cool to see if they decide to go with the, protecting Atlantis, kind of a standoffish member of the Justice League, or if they're gonna, come up with some other shenanigans.
I mean, it looked like it's going to be the stereotypical, or I guess I should just say the typical Aquaman story of I don't want to come back to the throne. I don't want to assume my right, and then he comes back, and then like begrudgingly he gets the throne. Everyone's pissed at him because he never really was a part of Atlantis, But without giving away too much, I mean that's all I know. But I think that's what I'm going to see. And when I saw the Black Manta, who is one of my favorite DC villains, when I saw him shoot freaking laser beams out of his face, I almost died. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how he translates to the cinematic universe. Seeing him in the old, campy cartoons is really fun, but hopefully they have more of a dark spin with a more intense Aquaman. There should be a more intense villain.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also hope that they don't, CGI the crap out of it. Obviously, with lasers coming out of your eyes, you have to CGI it. But I hope it doesn't look, too unrealistic, because I feel like with some of their movies, they get too unrealistic, and you're kind of like, okay, I got it, and then you put your hands up and you kind of like walk away from it almost.
It's going to be very tough to portray Atlantis and underwater talking without just going to town on CGI.
Yeah.
I will say in recent years CGI it's become more believable. I'm not really a stickler for it as much because we're getting like Disney Pixar animated films. You know what I mean? We're getting those all the time. That obviously that's different than CGI, but I can kind of find the balance now and be like, okay, I see it. You're not really going to build an entire underwater, city. Just don't make it look like garbage. I get what you're saying. I don't want to see it either. But I am excited to see how they handle Aquaman and Black Manta, and I mean, obviously, there's so much more going to come from that. But aside from Aquaman, Shazam seems like it's going to be a nice little treat for DC fans who might not be looking for that super dark vibe, that Zack Snyder, style of cinematography. I don't know. I think Shazam's going to be a more lighthearted, fun movie that I think might help the DC universe as a whole.
I know Nikki on the last pod has said how he viewed it as, going to be very, very dark because, that's the story that Shazam comes from. So I think it'll be interesting how they, break away from the story and move on from that.
Yeah, his child, I will say, obviously he's a foster kid. His childhood probably won't be the most bright and heartwarming story, but any teen, or I think he's 14 in this movie, but I think in most depictions I think he's like somewhere between 8 and 14, in that range. That's like prime imagination time as a kid, and just imagine being gifted superpowers. Just to see how that's going to be portrayed on screen, I think it's going to be awesome to watch, and it will be a little bit different than all the other movies. But just seeing that portrayed on screen and then hopefully brought into the Justice League world, it's going to lighten it up a little bit, and I'm excited to see it. All right, and finally we have our gaming section. Why section? Like we're shopping through a store. Yeah, this is our gaming section. Over here we've got Nintendo's and Sega. Okay, starting off, we've got Pokemon Go. I just wanted to bring this up again because over the weekend, my wife and I, we had been playing more. We played more over the weekend than we have, I think, in the past like 2 years. I don't know what it is. Just when Nintendo told us that the Pokemon Go would somehow be, I don't know, like intertwined with the new Pokemon Let's Go, like Eevee and Pikachu's for the Nintendo Switch, I'm now more inclined to play, and I'm more excited than I think I've ever been. But I really sat down and thought about it over the weekend, and I'm trying to figure out how they're going to integrate Pokemon Go and what you've accomplished in that game into Pokemon Let's Go. And I got in a real dark place, and I was like, if they're just making us catch all these Pokemon on this app, right? And then we link it up with our Nintendo Switch, and it's like some sort of like farm system, you know what I mean? Where it's like you get to see all the Pokemon you've caught in Pokemon Go walk around behind a fence. Like, I feel like that's what we're going to wind up getting, and I need somebody to talk me down.
So there's actually, I believe they released a second gameplay trailer, and we can post that on the site. But it did show that you, on the Switch, will be journeying through Kanto, and we'll be using the Pokemon Go style of catching and interacting with Pokemon, rather than the classic, RPG style.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the Pokemon that you catch in Pokemon Go could be transferred to Let's Go via kind of a Safari Park hybrid where you import your Pokemon and you have to go catch them there. That's what I would imagine it would be like.
Okay. All right. So
I'm going to have to recatch all my Pokemon in Pokemon Let's Go?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to start off in the very beginning and be like, okay, but here's what you can do. From here on out, like basically when you pop on Pokemon Let's Go on your Switch, here on out, everything you catch in Pokemon Go is credited towards them. What am I getting for the things I've already accomplished? Like, they're not going to let me start off with a maxed out Gyarados. You know what I mean? They're not going to let me start the game crushing it with a I don't know, what else do I have? A freaking 2600 Vaporeon, which now that I say that out loud, it sounds like a dork. But I'm just saying that everything that I have right now, they're not going to give you right away. I'm worried on how they're going to incorporate it. I just need to know.
Yeah, I understand, the concern, hopefully over the coming weeks and months we'll get the answers. And, but like you said, I'm concerned as well, So I'm thinking, it kind of makes me, not want to buy a Switch because I'm one of the people that don't have a Nintendo Switch yet.
Yeah, okay, listen. I'm still excited for the game. Either way, I think it's going to be fun. I don't necessarily want... I like the style in which you catch the Pokemon. I don't want the actual game for the Switch to be exactly what Pokemon Go is, where you have to literally grind up Pokemon to make a better one. You know what I mean? Like here's a candy. I don't want it to be like that much like Pokemon Go. I like the manner in which you catch them. I feel like it's a little more hands-on. You kind of feel like you're involved. But I don't want it to be like I'm going to have to catch in the game, 400 Magikarps to eventually get a Gyarados. I don't want that.
I got you there. I kind of want I want a little bit of, the battling to where that, I can throw out a Magikarp and then pull it back and put in another Pokemon to, beat the other Pokemon's butt. And, get experience that way, or get like an experience share to where all my Pokemon get experience from the battle, to where that, like you said, you don't have to sit here and, waste hours upon hours of catching Magikarps. I know right now it's, hours upon hours of catching Swablues just to get, the evolution.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, how far are you along in the Swablu catching in actual Pokemon Go?
I believe I have like 230
Ooh, not
candies.
bad. All right. Pretty nice. Okay, I'm about to roll over 200. Anyway, JJ, you know what I'm talking about? You know what the Swablu is? That little poofy, like cotton ball looking thing.
I know. The dragon or Altaria, I
Yeah.
think is what he evolves into.
I'm excited for that. One of these years, I'll be able to actually have enough to evolve it. Anyway, that was my concern over the weekend about Pokemon Go. I'm going to probably keep playing it, obviously. It's still fun. I feel like it got a bad rap they've come a long way from where they started. Obviously, it was a little more monotonous in the beginning, but now there's like objectives, and that's all you really have to do in a game is give people a reason to play. So that's exciting. I'm having fun with that. JJ, you dug up No Man's Sky. I saw that they had an update. You showed it to me. It looks like everything I thought No Man's Sky was going to be when I originally pre-ordered it, because I was one of the suckers that pre-ordered the game. And Nikki can attest. He also he showed it to me like, what is it, like 2 years ago? Over 2 years ago. He's like, dude, this game's going to be awesome. There's so much you can do. You can fly around to different worlds, discover different things. But we were never able to play with each other, and that ultimately was the downfall of the game for me. To do all that exploring in different universes and galaxies and not be able to share that experience with a friend, it deeply saddened me. But in this update, you're telling me that you can do all that stuff?
Yes, and I have to say, I actually did not play it at launch because of all the bad feedback that I heard about it.
Ooh.
But the multiplayer patch, No Man's Sky Next is what they're calling it, came out recently. I got it on PC with my buddies, and we jumped it. Well, first of all, it took me like 2 or 3 days to get the damn software to work because apparently it is one of the higher demanding games out there for PC.
I would imagine so, yes.
And so I got it working finally, and the multiplayer aspect is really, really awesome. It's like you take Minecraft and you give yourself a giant or a spaceship to just fly around in. You can work collaboratively with your friends they have fright ships that appear. You can ransack the fright ships and take all the resources. Or you can build a base together. You can work on the quests together. And it really is that collaborative experience that players were looking for. They also made some quality of life changes that I think, from what I understand, really helped the game out in the way of making it feel just a bit less grindy.
Yes.
And what I will say now, I've probably dumped maybe like 15 hours into it at this point.
Yeah.
It is overwhelming at how huge it is and how many options there are, but it really is kind of that semi-linear sandbox game that I think people have been waiting for. And I think that I would give it a recommendation in terms of anybody who bought it back in the day and wants to give it another shot. I definitely would tell you to go ahead and do that. For those of you that were lucky enough to buy the PS4 version for like $5 at GameStop, pop that bad boy in your PS4 and give it a go, because I think that this is going to be a game that I dump a whole lot of time into. It's really pretty crazy.
Yeah, I bought it. Like I said, I pre-ordered it. I played it, and I actually liked it. For what it was, it saddened me that there were so many promises broken, and I knew I would never be able to play with my friends. It just kind of made me upset. However, I will say, before I even knew that this update was coming, it was Black Friday last year. Black Friday, I picked it back up because it was like $5 on Black Friday. It was like nothing, right? So I was like, I have to get it. I was like, it's essentially a PS4 game for $5. I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. I'll put it back in my collection. And it's now since paid off that they've updated it and made it what I wanted it to be. So I will pop that back in, and I will play it. And I'm excited to see what's different. I'm excited to see that. However, now what I'm going to have to do is try to convince a friend to also get it back. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I can actually play and experience the multiplayer with somebody. And then last up on the list here, we've got Megaman Legacy Collection. That's now just, I think it's releasing right now for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and is it out? I think it's on Xbox One as well, right?
Yes, and Lynch, you actually mentioned not having your Switch yet. I have to say, the collection of games that are available for the Switch is really, really good right now, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. We've got the Mario Party coming out soon, coming back to its roots. You got the Smash coming out. We talked about all that a few podcast episodes ago. But I recently picked up the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, which is a 2-in-1. It gives you Mega Man X through Mega Man X8, which is 8 different games. And I also have the Mega Man Legacy Collection for the original 10 that came out on those very early consoles. And I wanted to let our fans know that I'm going to be doing a streaming series, working my way through all friggin' 19 of these games.
Oh my god!
Because you know what they announced at E3 this year? I'm pretty sure.
What's
this
that?
Mega Man 11. They're bringing them back, and I really want to be prepared for when that comes out.
That's going to be pretty sweet for sure. I never got real into the Mega Mans. I think the closest thing I got to enjoying a game of Mega Man was Mega Man Soccer. But I had that. I wound up selling that, I think, when I picked it up at Goodwill for like $5, and I flipped it after I had played it a little bit. But I mean, I played a few of the Mega Mans back in the day. I never really got into it myself, but I can see the appeal, and I know that it has a huge fan base. And I will say, I don't know how to work him in Super Smash, and that's more so what's the most upsetting thing about me is to have a dude that's got a freaking cannon on his hand. Why? Have you ever used him in Super Smash? What the hell's going on with him in there?
Yeah, he's a pretty big utility character, I feel like. But his up smash and down smash are really crazy. You just gotta play and get used to the timing, and you can catch people with his buster, and his front air is actually really good too.
Okay.
It's not like you spam a Pikachu Thunderbolt.
Yeah, that's the Reggie Bastion move. Is we're playing Super Smash. I'll just be Pikachu and literally hit down. Was it down B Thunder every second possible? That's all he would do. But no, Lynch, like JJ said, the Switch I think would be a perfect console for you and your fiance right now, but your future wife. I think you guys would have a lot of fun with it, especially with Pokemon Let's Go that's coming out. It's going to be a co-op game that you can play with together, and obviously the Mega Man collection's coming out for it, and they do have a great backlog of old like retro games. And to me, and it was enough for me to buy it right away, was the Zelda game that's for it. It's unbelievable. I was never really a huge Zelda fan, but that game alone, it was like one of the best games I've ever played. It was amazing to me. So there's a lot of good games and that are out now and coming out, like you said, for the Switch. So if you want to get a console, that's probably the next one for you.
Yeah, it's something that I'm gonna throw on the watch list for, like you said, like a Black Friday.
Yeah,
because I'm sure at this point, since it's been out a couple years, and I'm sure Nintendo will tease some sort of next model type of thing, how everyone else has the handheld console that, gets another upgrade that it doesn't necessarily need, but every company now wants to, one up each other.
Well, if you don't get it by the time, okay, I know Pokemon Let's Go is coming out. That's a pretty good grab. It's a good thing to get you there. But if you don't have it by the time the actual Pokemon game that they have planned for Nintendo Switch comes out, the 100% like traditional Pokemon game for the Switch comes out, I think that's probably going to be the time when you cave. I think that's going to be the time when a lot of people cave when that comes out. If they release that game and it does what I think it's going to do in my head, or at least what I've imagined it to do, it's going to blow everything out of the water. I'm super excited for that. But it's just a matter of them.
It's going to be Pokemon Go times 10.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. But if it's just Nintendo Switch's power on a actual handheld Pokemon game, the possibilities are endless. I'm just imagining. Anyway, I'm salivating. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be cool. So, but that's all we got for today. I don't know if anybody else has anything they wanted to say. but that's all we've got for right now. And if you want to follow us, obviously we're doing, again, I'll mention it, the Madden 19. We're giving away a copy of Madden 19 for PS4 or Xbox One. Seriously, you don't have to purchase anything. This is legit. I know there's a lot of scam things going around on social media. This one's not one of them. We are legitimately giving away a free copy of Madden 2019. All you have to do is, I think retweet and follow on Twitter, and then just follow and tag a couple friends on Facebook and Instagram. Just trying to get the word out. Obviously, the Chunk is a growing brand, and we appreciate you listening. If you've listened this deep into the podcast, you are a true fan. So just head on over to our social medias. Follow us if you'd like. It's at The Chunk Pod. And be sure to follow us online at thechunkpod.com. JJ, Lynch, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining us today. And we should be back, I believe, next week, right?
Hopefully we'll get back on a regular schedule. I think we were shooting for Thursdays, so maybe we'll see you on Thursday.
I swear Thursdays is going to be the day, but life gets in the way sometimes. But we need to keep our schedules tight. And JJ, I know you'll be. We can probably tweet that out or put it on the website. Your schedule if you're gonna do the Megaman mini series. I believe you'll be streaming it probably on Twitch. But we'll get that schedule from you as well and put that up on the website. Toot Sweet. Yep. Do people say Toot Sweet or is it Hoot Sweet? No, that's the app. Toot Sweet it is. And thank you for joining us for another Chunk Pod. We'll catch you guys next time. Do.
Get chunked.
Chunked in the face.